Good morning, good morning, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you are. Buy Black for Life. Welcome to another of our Education Saturday conversation series. We are continuing these conversations around financial literacy, and the conversation that we are about to have, I hope and pray that every single one of you who have young people that are looking to college, aspiring for college, and how to finance college, that you are coming in. My name is Jerome Hurt, founder of the Buy Black for Life group, and I welcome you on this Saturday. And I'm going to do a quick icebreaker. Let me start with that. Put the icebreaker out there, and then I'm going to read the bios, and then I'm going to have our guests answer the icebreaker. So the icebreaker is, if you had it to do all over again, if you had college to do all over again, where would you go to school? And if you're very happy with where you went, then great. Just put it in the chat. But right now, I'm going to read the bios of our amazing guests. I'm going to start with Frenda Rodgers, who is the Director of Access Life, College, Career, and Educational Signature Consulting Services, where she provides individual counseling, college and career exploration and development, and economic coaching services. Frenda was employed as a high school counselor for the Chicago Public Schools for 16 years. She is the author of Nobody, Me at age 40, I Am a Virgin, Embracing Your Life's Virgin Journey. I'm saying virgin again. Embracing your, boy, that stuck with me. Embracing Your Life's Journey. Frenda holds a bachelor's in psychology from Spelman, a master's in social work from the University of Illinois at Chicago, a master's in school counseling from Concordia University, and a master's in school leadership from Concordia University. She's currently working on a PhD, get it, in human services with a concentration in social work and community services at Capella University. Buy Black for Life, welcome Frenda Rodgers. Welcome, Frenda.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us. So, and I know you're a Spelman woman because I remember us talking about this.
Yes.
So if you could do it all over again, where would you go for your undergrad?
Spelman College. I wouldn't change it. I would not change it.
Gotcha. And we have in our family a niece that is graduating from Spelman next month. So I know all about the Spelman legacy. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Buy Black for Life. This morning we have also Brianna Membres, and she was blessed with over $50,000 in scholarships and grants. Brianna of SheEdits LLC provides scholarship assistance through courses, coaching, and essay help. Glory be to God. Praise him right now. Her business has helped families win tens of thousands of dollars for college. Buy Black for Life, Brianna Membres. Welcome, Brianna.
Thank you so much for having me. And as of last week, that changed to hundreds of thousands of dollars in college scholarships as of literally Tuesday. So I wanted to throw that out there too.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. And same icebreaker for you. If you could do undergrad all over again, where would you go?
So I went to IUPUI, which stands for Indiana University, Purdue University of Indianapolis. And I loved it. I would go back because they have a humongous urban education program. Since it's right in the city of Indianapolis, literally all of our courses, all of our cohort, our student teaching was all focused on urban ed. So African-American and Latinx students. So I loved it. It was great. It really prepared me for the field when I taught fifth grade, I had a classroom, 100% African-American students. And so I love my college.
Okay. Well, I'm going to answer the question myself. As much as I love St. John's, right? I wish I had gone to Morehouse, a historically Black college. When my own children were preparing for college and we went to college fairs, it was something about stepping to that Morehouse man that was just totally different. And I know some brothers who went to Morehouse and I love them and respect them. So for me, it would definitely be Morehouse. And I love St. John's. Please don't get it twisted. I love St. John's. So let's jump right into it. And I'm going to start with you, Frenda. Talk about what it is that the services that you offer through Access, please.
Okay. So, like the purpose of Access itself is to do just that. Help families and students access resources, support, finances, and any educational resources, any counseling resources, careers. So just access life. So I provide individual counseling for all ages, from children all the way to adults. Life coaching. I also provide services in regards to college planning. We'll talk a little bit about that a little later. Right. But as a high school counselor, that's the bulk of what I did. Work with students on their passions, figuring out what their passions were, what they were good at, and then seeing if they can make a career out of that. So that was the first step. And then we figure out what colleges fit them, not just the career itself, but their personality, money-wise. Make a list, apply, took them through all of that, all the way through college decision. Once they made that decision, I supported them from the test that they have to take, the exams, housing applications, until they literally got on the campus in August. So I do that work now on my own through my organization. Also career development for not just young people, but also adults. I talk about a career crisis I had when I switched careers and decided to become an entrepreneur. So I work with young people and adults on career development. Again, exploring your passions or your purpose, what you feel like you were put on earth to do, and trying to figure out if you can kind of partner your gift and your passions to a career. I offer test prep services, SAT, ACT, GED. So it's almost like if you need it, I got it. If I don't have it, then I'll refer you to somebody like Brianna or another organization. So just the purpose is allowing people access that generally don't have it in every realm that I can support them.
Awesome. And you touched on something that I was intentional about because of the intersection of what it is that each of you do. Like you said, if there's something that is out of your realm of what it is that you do, being able to refer them to Brianna is so important. And thank you for that. That because we're all about collaboration, not competition. And that's what we have to be about. Yes, exactly. So Brianna, tell us what it is that you do with SheEdits LLC.
Yeah, so with SheEdits, I provide the full gamut of scholarship services. So I didn't know anything about going to college or getting scholarships when I was in school. I remember my mom and I having to figure it out. And the scholarship process can be so overwhelming, so stressful, because you always hear there's money out there, there's millions of dollars scholarships out there, but nobody tells you how to get the money.
Right.
So I remember going through the process. And then once I graduated from college, and I taught fifth grade, I wanted to come home and start a business. And I'm like, man, people really need help with scholarships. That is something that is a need. And so I started SheEdits. It originally was going to just be me editing scholarship essays, hence the name SheEdits, because essays are a huge part of most scholarship applications. But then it turned into everything. So I literally take parents and families and college students and high school students from finding the scholarships to then writing the essays, sending in the applications, doing financial aid appeal letters. We do coaching, small group courses, everything that students need and parents need, office hours. We're here to help. So I want to make the scholarship process as easy as possible. I like breaking stuff into into small chunks. I don't like overdoing things. I like keeping things nice and simple. So, and that came from my teaching background. Like I said, I taught 5th grade. And so when I teach parents and families, like I try to break it down step by step. This is what we do first, second, third, fourth, and so it's not overwhelming to them. So that's what I do in a nutshell.
Got it. And I like the fact that both of you come from an education background. So you see that. You get to see that piece first and what it is that our young people are missing out on. And I'm going to ask Brianna, you first. At what point should a parent and or student start speaking to you about what services you offer or about the college process, actually?
So it's really never too early to start learning and getting familiarized with the college process and with the scholarship process. Most scholarship applications don't open up until senior year of high school, and then they run through when students are in college. And so what I tell most families, you can start getting familiar with the process and knowing where the money is at and start familiarizing yourself with that in middle school. However, when I typically start working with students myself is about sophomore year of high school, because in sophomore year of high school, they can start compiling list of scholarships that will still probably be active and running once they hit senior year. They can start writing their essays, especially during junior year. That's when I really push, get a ton of scholarship essays knocked out, because at the very beginning of senior year is when 99% of the applications for high school students start opening. So, and then the big scholarships are given out really early in the senior year. Like those open and close like August, September. And so you don't want to be just getting started with the process the very beginning of your senior year, which I see a lot, because then you'll miss out on a lot of those big scholarships. And then you're coming to me at, scrambling, which is fine. I'll take students at any point, even the ones who are scrambling and stressed out and feel like they started too late, because I got a late start myself. But if your student is in middle school or is a freshman or sophomore in high school, I definitely say go ahead and get started now, so you won't be rushing and stressed out and freaking out about how you're going to pay this tuition bill.
Thank you for that. Frenda, how about you? What anything to add to that, or if
I totally agree with Brianna. I actually start with students the summer after their sophomore year going into junior year. And like she said, with essay writing, the college essay, starting with that, and even compiling lists of scholarships and different things like that. And most importantly, because of I have students everywhere, and through the COVID, some of the testing requirements, SAT, ACT was kind of lax, but for a lot of scholarships, they still were requiring test scores. So I prepare students that summer to take the SAT or the ACT before they have to take it with their schools in their junior year. So sophomore year, the end of sophomore year, she's correct. That's exactly what I do.
Okay.
Senior year is not too late, but as she stated, you lose a lot. Like I have a lot of clients that came in April, and I'm gonna hump and work with you, but you missed out on. There were like hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table. So I agree with Brianna. That sophomore year, towards the end, that summer, that's when I get started with students.
Frenda, can you just explain to those who are watching the differences between scholarships and grants?
Okay.
And Brianna, I'm sorry, and Brianna, you also, when she's done, you could chime in on that.
Okay. So with grants, a lot of times grants come through the government, federal government, Pell Grant, MAP grant for Illinois. There are specific grants for each state. So it's based on a lot of times your family income. In regards to schools or colleges, grants a lot of times are based on that also, your income and merit. So a lot of students receive grants based on their GPAs. So a college admissions person will look at your GPA, they'll look at like your test scores, and they could grant you grants based on that. Right. So it's what you already have in place. Scholarships, you have to go for. You have to work for almost and kind of compete for. And that's Brianna stated. essays. That's a lot of times young people don't want to do that. But once you break them, and like she said, break it down. And I'm gonna send some people to you because they need
Okay, please. And I got people to send to you too. Because people are always asking me about the college application process. I'm like, that's not what I do. So
I love it.
I got you.
right after this.
Okay.
That support with the essays because you're competing. You know, and you need to write the best essay as possible because a lot of scholarship organizations are looking at hundreds of those. Right. So that's the difference. Both for free money, but it's like scholarships you're kind of working for, you know, to earn.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I agree. I was gonna say I agree with literally 100% of everything that she says. I always tell my clients, G grants, G government. That's how you can remember. Grants come from the government.
Right.
That's good.
Typically, they don't require essays. She said, they go off the FAFSA and then they go off of your GPA. And then grants, you don't have to pay back. They're like scholarships in that way. And a lot of times with grants, they'll keep giving out the money until it runs out. Yes. So they're not as competitive. I know Indiana has a ton of grants. We're one of the states, I think, who has the most grants. And with a lot of them, as long as you meet those requirements, you're like guaranteed to get that money. Yeah. And so, and I know like with a few grants here, they'll just keep dispersing it until that account runs out for the year. And then with scholarships, as she said, is more competitive. And scholarships are given through more public or private organizations. So companies, businesses, churches, nonprofits, anybody can give a scholarship. I'm working on giving out a scholarship right now. And again, those require more of the letters of recommendation and the essays and the transcripts and all that good stuff.
And you know, I'm glad you said that because that's something we Buy Black for Life are working on as well as we continue to grow, because we think it's important exposing it, you know, even if you go for a year, right? Because there are people that, let's be honest, college may not be for them, and that's okay, but having the option to be able to go and not have to worry about the financial part, especially for our communities, it's so vital. So we want to partner with the historically Black colleges at some point that we are offering scholarships, especially for young people who are going to take up entrepreneurial studies. So awesome. I love what it is that each of you are offering to our people. Frenda, I'm gonna ask you a question because you touched on it a little bit. You touched on the pandemic, right? How did the pandemic change things for what it is you do? What was that shift for your organization as you were going through as well as your students are going through the pandemic?
Well, for me, I want to make sure I use my words, respect, you know, with the pandemic, there was a lot of loss. There's a lot of mental health issues came about, you know, a lot of people lost a lot. During the pandemic though, my organization, my business skyrocketed. It changed. It was so fast. We started having I was like, oh. So I resigned from Chicago Public Schools in August of 2019. And so I started a business I was already thinking about. I started a business September of 2019. And I started working with a lot of students. I was already working with them virtually. Some that were in Chicago, you know, we had physical meetings, but a lot of my clients that were in Atlanta or New York, I was virtually working with them anyway. So when March hit, I was already virtually working with families and students. What happened when the pandemic came about, my educational services as it relates to tutoring skyrocketed because parents were at home trying to teach kids geometry that they like, I don't remember when I learned geometry. So like, I need your help. So that part of my business, just I had to like have my sisters and even a couple of my godchildren help with tutoring because they just got out of
wow.
And then also by trade, I'm a social worker. I'm also a counselor. So I started providing social emotional workshops for parents and students around grief. We lost Brianna. Did you, Brianna?
Yeah, I see that we lost her.
I'm sorry.
When she comes, no, that's fine. She'll come back. Yeah.
So I started providing workshops around grief, and depression, and just talking to students about what's going on, how they were feeling. Because the issue was a lot of parents or a lot of adults, we could express, and you saw that on social media,
Yes.
what was our fears and what was going on between the pandemic and racial and social, police brutality stuff all happening at one time.
All at once.
And so what I started doing was asking students, what do you feel about it? Asking young people, because, parents love their kids, but they were not having these conversations.
Right.
So for me, because of the work that I was already doing and some of the background that I have, with mental health and social work, I was able to just support families as much as I could. Again, bringing in even my two of my sisters are counselors also. Wow. So bringing them in to help with mental health stuff, with grief, just having conversations with young people on what they were feeling like. They didn't know what words to put. So when I explained to them, like, you want to sleep or you want to this, and then they're like, and you're not eating. So this sometimes equates to depression. I had kids as young as 11 or 10, like, I think that might be me. And then referring them to organizations in their city. Mostly it was Chicago. So Ada S. McKinley and places like that, or their school social worker or psychologist at the time, so they could receive those services.
Wow. That's awesome. And, I'm a survivor of COVID. About a year ago,
wow.
I thought I was going to die. Like, I'll never forget my wife standing at the door of our bedroom, because both of us had it at the same time. And her thinking, my husband's going to die. Right. And then the next 2 nights after that, I wanted to die. That's how much I was suffering. Like, I'm screaming to God to just take my life. So I get the depression part. I was there. I get the struggle. I mean, outside of my window, I'm hearing ambulance every 2 or 3 minutes, every single day. And that was weighing on me. So I can only imagine what a young person, I can only imagine it, what they were going through. So thank you for that. Brianna, how about you? What was the shift, or was there a shift for your business during the time of COVID?
So that's a really good question. I started my business in 2019. So since 2019, it's been going up. I feel like I haven't been in business long enough to compare this year to other years,
Gotcha.
But it has been a lot of families and a lot of students reaching out because they just need assistance. And I think SheEdits is starting to kind of get on the map a little bit. And so more people are referring their friends and their families and their coworkers and their children. And so 2020 was a pretty big year for SheEdits, just in terms of growth and in terms of being able to help people. I'm not sure how much of that had to do with the pandemic or with COVID, and I don't know, but yeah, it was pretty steady. I mean, I've just seen a steady stream of growth, so thank the Lord, it's been great.
Good. I'm curious. What made each of you start the businesses that you did? Frenda, I'll ask you first. What made you, again, you said you were a counselor in the public school systems of Chicago.
Yeah.
What made you shift and change and do what it is that you're doing now as your own personal business?
For me, I feel like I talk a lot about passion and purpose because that's what my life is about. So for me, I was very comfortable to some extent in the work that I was doing. You make nice money, especially if you have several degrees. There was a lot that, you have to deal with working with the public school system. And then in a place like Chicago where you could lose a student, it's gang violence. It's a lot that goes on.
Right.
And listen, that's not all what Chicago is about. If you
I know.
I love my city. Like, I lived in Atlanta for 7 years, but I had to come back to Chicago. So we're not ducking and dodging bullets all day. I know that's what the media wants you to believe. It's not like that. It's not. There's serious issues that happen. And I was in the midst of that working for Chicago Public Schools. So, so there were, times where just like, oh my God, can I do this? But overall, I absolutely loved what I did. I loved the work. The issue for me came with just so many other I don't want to say the system itself. Like
so red tape, basically.
The red tape, and
Yeah.
and we would say, and I'm not knocking Chicago public school systems because I am also a product, of Chicago public school system, but a lot of times it wasn't about the student. And for me, it's always been that way. That's one of the reasons why I went into education and in social work. I wanted to work with the individual people, and then of course their families and other systems. So it's not always the best interest of heart. It's not always for the kid. And so I would find myself all the time like bucking against the system, rebellious, like rebelling. And thank God I had really good administrators who absolutely loved me and knew the importance of my work, because I probably should have been fired several times. Because I just was like, we're not doing that. That doesn't fit our kids, and we're not doing that just to show face. So I felt like, especially the last 2 or 3 years of my career, I was just, oh my God, I was just exhausted, and I was overwhelmed because I would try to comply because I did love my administrators. I didn't want them to get in trouble for stuff that I did. Like I tell them to call me, and they're like, it doesn't work like that. I'm the principal, so I'm gonna get in trouble. So in that case, I tried to comply. But even being in compliance, I would be doing things that was not a part of my job description, just to have this school, get numbers. And then I find myself working overtime, working with students and their families to deal with grief, or students and family to make sure financial aid was straight, or having to go to homes because the parents didn't trust the system. They didn't trust anybody to give their information to. So I'm in your house eating mashed potatoes with you when I'm really supposed to be somewhere else, but I'm trying to get the job done.
Right.
So I was just working crazy hours. I was making good money, but working like crazy hours. So I never really wanted to be a businesswoman because I thought it was just hard. But God started putting that on my heart. I started having dreams, and people started saying certain things to me. I was kind of running from it, but I thought about it. If I'm going to be tired, if I'm going to be working 28 jobs and getting one check, I might as well do it for me. I might as well do it myself while building legacy. So that, in a nutshell, is why I decided I could do this stuff on my own. I could build my own company and my own business. I could collaborate with other people that look like me, that have the same passions like me, and we can do it from there. So that's why I decided to do it on my own.
Wow, I love that. Thank you very much. Brianna, how about you? What made you, create SheEdits?
Yeah, so I've always loved teaching. I've always been passionate about working with youth. That has always been something, ever since I was a kid myself, I always like working with younger kids. And it's just something I love to do. So that was my major, education with a concentration in Spanish. So I immediately, like I said, I went right after graduation and started teaching 5th grade. Loved it. Loved my big old babies. That's what I called them, because they were right before 6th grade, like 5th graders, even right before they hit that little ugly middle school stage. Like, oh my gosh. So I love my 5th grade babies, but then I had my own baby. So my husband and I in 2019 had a son, and I always knew I wanted to come home, and I wanted to raise my kids and be at home full time, but I still love teaching. I still wanted to make some money, and I just, but I still wanted to be at home. But I'm such an active person. I don't like just sitting there all day. And so, like I said, when I started looking for online teaching jobs, but I wasn't finding anything that I liked. So literally, kind of like Frenda said, I feel like I was just lying in bed one day. I was on Indeed or Monster, trying to find jobs. And then the name SheEdits just kind of came in my mind. And I feel like God just gave me the concept for SheEdits. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So I took it, I ran with it. My husband loves entrepreneurship. He's huge in the stock market, and he loves being able to also educate himself on business and himself on finances and stocks. So he's really helped me grow the business. But through SheEdits, I'm still able to teach. I'm still able to work with youth and their families. And I love being able to bridge that gap and still be able to educate. I'm so big on education. I've always loved school. I want to go back to school. I love teaching. And so I'm huge on education. And it just really brings me joy being able to help these families have success when students and families come to me and say, I got a full ride, you know, I got this many thousands of dollars in scholarships. Like, I don't have to go in hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, you know, like my parents. It's just such a blessing. So that's kind of where I am. People always ask me, do I think I'll go back to the classroom? Like I said, I love the classroom. I love the teaching part of it, but it's so much outside of just the teaching. I mean, literally half of your job is working with parents and grading and teachers meetings. And it's just so much outside of, you know, just the straight teaching. And so that's why I love being able to do SheEdits, because I have that flexibility. I can do it on my time, my schedule, how I want it. You know, I'm my own boss. And so it comes with a lot being your own boss. I mean, if you don't get up in the morning and run your business, ain't nobody gonna run your business. Like, you know, if I had a sick day at work, they just call a sub in my class, you know, and things would keep on moving. So it's a lot. You know, it can be exhausting, but at the end of the day, I know it's my baby. You know, this is something that I've seen grow from the ground up, and I'm actually helping people. I know there's so many businesses out there that help people, but I love being able to, I know what it has meant to me to graduate debt free. I know what it meant to me to graduate from college, and then a month later we bought a house. Like, I know what it means to me. Like, when I wanted to come home, I was able to come home with my son because we didn't have all these thousands of dollars in debt. And so I love being able to just help families experience the same thing. It just makes me so happy. It really does.
I love that story. And I'm going to ask you both a question. How important, and either one of you could go first, do you think what it is you do is to our community?
You can go, Frenda.
I mean, it's vitally important, because the thing is, if we don't do it, nobody's going to do that. So I always say this, I'm big on students seeing people that look like them. Okay.
Representation,
So I say all presentation. Yes. So I say all the time, we brown people, African Americans, Black, whatever you want to call us, we're the only group of people that allow somebody else that don't look like us to educate our kids. You will never go into a predominantly, even Latino, our cousins, Latino school, and see mostly Black folk teaching them, or a predominantly white school, and you see predominantly white teachers. Okay, so in CPS, Chicago Public Schools, a lot of public schools, you do see administrators and a lot of African American teachers, but you go in places, I'm telling you, and 60-70% sometimes are people that don't look like them. Now, let me just say this. I love educators. I love allies. We have people that are passionate about education, and they look totally different. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, honestly, we want to just kind of take a look at it. We've been allowing others to teach our children, to educate our children. And it's a lot of cases, a lot of systems wrongly teach them, especially about history, especially about geography and what Africa really looks like. So for me, I know, you know, like I think Brianna said it, I know it's a lot of business out there, but God, if you know God, let's say that, God will let you know. You know, it takes you're the only you, and you have a certain purpose, and I understand that. So that's why I'm out there waking up, like you said, or not even sleeping sometimes. Probably don't sleep because
I know. I know.
But sometimes you don't even sleep because you're hustling and you're grinding so hard. But it's worth it. It really is. It's all worth it. It is all worth it. So I know that my organization, my business, the work that I do is vitally important to people that look like me.
I love that. Brianna, how about you?
Yep. And definitely agree with everything Frenda said too. And then I know historically our people take out so much in loans. I know that we don't have the education that a lot of other folks have. And a lot of us are just clueless. You know, we don't know, like we know we want to go to college. College is push. So we know that's something that a lot of us want to do, but our graduation rates can be so low. And then the amount of loans we take out is so high. We default on our student loans at a more significant rate than people of other races. We take out more loans. We would get those refund checks, and we're irresponsible with them. Like, you know, we get a little loan refund check, not a scholarship refund check, but a loan refund check. And then we go out and buy designer and cars and stuff, and don't realize that you're going to have to pay this back right after you graduate, if you graduate. And then so I love being able to just help people see, the big picture, and not just, like I said, I love being able to help people see the big picture. So I know the work that I'm doing is helping our community too. Even just the education aspect is so huge.
Thank you. Yeah. As a financial professional, 30 plus years in the game, I know how student loan debt, it actually handicaps a young person who's now, in the profession that they desire. They have that albatross across their neck that they have to constantly pay for. And when we, as people of color, Black people, when we do the things that we need to early on, because I also talk about, for example, investing in your 401k, because a lot of people don't recognize they could either borrow or withdraw from their 401k in order to pay for educational expenses. They don't even realize there are 529 plans out there that they can invest in that are going to defray some of the costs. So everything that each of you was saying is so vital and what we need for our people. I mean, people, listen, this is probably, and yes, it's been Financial Literacy Month, and I've been intentional because it's my passion. It's, I grew up in the hood, right? And grew up dirt poor. And I made a conscious decision that this is a field I'm going to go into, and then I'm going to take this information back to my community. But this information here, we need this. This is what we need. And in addition to that, what we need to talk about is, and Frenda, this is something that I see you're doing as you're tying in the work that you do with students. You're also tying in mental health. Talk about that, because that's so vital. It was vital before the pandemic. It's even more vital now.
It's huge. Mental health is huge. And like you said, it's been very important before. But I feel like in the last, let's say 5, maybe to 7 years, especially with us, it's now become, it's not a taboo conversation anymore.
No.
Before it's kind of like if you mentioned, you mentioned, oh, I need some counseling, or I want to go to a therapist. I mean, grandma look at you like, girl, what? Talk to Jesus. I love Jesus. But Jesus created counselors too, and therapists too. So for me, because I, know the mental issues and battles that I had as an adolescent, I know what I've been through. The dark times, the depression, all of that. I'm always the type of person, I don't even have to know you. I went through something traumatic. If I see you, I'm that person to be like, come over here, don't do that.
Right.
I just don't want nobody else to go through it. So that's where it stemmed from.
Gotcha.
Like I said, with the pandemic and working with students, I started, because I'm the type of, some people call me, I have 12 godchildren, right? So some people call me like the child or the kid whisperer, or even like when I worked for the high schools, I could get students to do stuff that other people could not. And one of the things was because they knew I cared. And so whenever I'm talking to a client, a student, the first thing I ask them is, how are you? Or how have you been doing? And, most of them like, I'm okay. But then I push a little bit in, well, how was your week? And so some of them kind of stare like, what? Because a lot of people don't ask kids or young people specifically, because, they always angry. They'll ask them what's going on with them. So for me, mental health is very important. I need to know what you're going through. Yeah, I'm going to help you with these scholarships. I'm going to help you with this college application. We're going to figure out your college decision. But if you're having some mental battles, if you're dealing with grief and depression, all of that is important. So for me, my clients and what my parents love, and then they say, oh, I got a sister that has a child, and they'll send them to me. I care, and they get that. So I care about your child, their mental state. I care about their heart, their future, all of that stuff. So mental health is very important. You can send a student to a college campus, and if they have mental health issues, they'll lose it. We've had that happen in several cases when I was in school. you know, I knew a few of my classmates were dealing with depression and stuff like that. We get up and go into class, and then you're sitting in the lounge with your pajamas on, and people are like, what is she doing? And I'm at 18, 19 years old, like, hey, let's not talk about her. Let me see if I can help. So I've been trying to help. I think Brianna said since I was a kid, like I could sense if something was wrong and try to figure out how to help. So mental health is very important, and it's infused in everything that I do.
Amen.
Everything.
Brianna, are you seeing that in what you do with SheEdits? The mental health of young people.
Say that one more time. Is my connection breaking?
Yeah.
Is my connection breaking up?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna switch. I have my younger cousins over. I think they're stuck into my Wi-Fi.
Okay.
So I'm gonna switch to my hotspot. I'm gonna see if that helps a little bit.
Okay.
1 second.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
Everybody's on the internet. So
right.
it's kind of like, what is going on? Let me get off.
I think that's what's happening. Right. Exactly. I just turned it off on my phone, but
she froze again. So I want to say, I thank you for talking about mental health. It's something I'm intentional about, talking about mental health. I struggled with it myself. I'm unapologetic in talking about my own struggles. There was a point in 2012 when my mom had passed away that I carried guilt and I didn't want to be here. And I've been so real about it, and I didn't realize that me being real about it has helped other people, and especially as being a Black man, right? And because my friends look at me, I'm the strong one. I'm the one that they come to when they need some help with something, or they need some advice with something. They need some guidance. So for Jerome to say that he struggled with mental health and be unapologetic, like, yes, I'm a pray to God. I'm a man of God, right? That God is first in my household, right? So I'm going to lean on God, but faith without works is dead.
Yes.
And I can tell you, I have my therapist on speed dial. Like when something comes up, I will text him, yo, David. And that's how I talk to him. I need to talk to you now. And he'll be, so, it's so important. And I take it, you hit upon something. When our young people get on college campuses, right? We want them in that space where all they need to focus on is their learning. They don't need to focus on those other things. So, and Brianna, I'm sorry. I just figured I'd, spend some time while
you're fine. Like I said, I have teenagers upstairs, and like I said, I think I'm like, why is my connection acting up? And then it clicked. So that's
you got
why.
Teenagers in there, so you'd already know. But I just wanted to know: have you seen that in what it is you do with SheEdits? Any, young people struggling with mental health issues? Have you seen that?
It's funny that you asked that, because literally yesterday I was working with a client and we were working on an essay. The essay prompt was, how has COVID affected you, and how has the pandemic affected you when you're learning, and how have you overcome those things? And so we were just working on this. And so, I mean, that's what she was talking about. And I didn't realize it because I got out of the school system right before the pandemic, so I don't have those daily interactions with students as much anymore. But just to hear her say that, and talking to my younger cousins, I have a million younger cousins. It's like, wow, I guess it would suck to just be sitting on Zoom all day, and then you're in your bedroom, and then my client yesterday, she was talking about how if she worked in her bedroom, then she would she's like, my bed is right there, and I just want to sleep all day. Her grades started dropping. But then she said when she would go in the living room, her mom was also working from home because of the pandemic. And she's like, her mom talks loud. So it would just be and her mom was on the phone all the time for her job. And so it's so much. And like I said, because I'm not in the day-to-day classroom anymore, it was hard for me to understand at first until I started actually talking to some of these students and realizing, wow, I mean, I was talking to one of my younger cousins, and that's what she was saying. She just feels so lonely now. And, because she's so separated from everybody. So I've definitely seen the shift. I'm so big on building relationships and building connections with my clients. I don't just want it to be, the business client relationship. Like, I'll text them, they have my personal cell phone number. So they'll be calling me, texting me, I'll send them stuff, they'll send me stuff, send me jokes. Like, I try to I'll get on my live. I have a private Facebook group for my clients. And so I'll hop on live on there and just be, chilling out with them. Like, I really want to build those connections. So they know that they can come to me for more than, we only have to talk about scholarships and that's it. Like, it's just a paycheck. Like, no, I just texted one of my clients' parents. I said, when is so-and-so's high school graduation? Like, I want to be there, So I think building that relationship and knowing that they have somebody in their corner, they have an advocate, they have somebody who truly cares about them and not just making money through their education, it can be super beneficial.
And that's going to bless your business. Trust me. Right. I mean, I say that all the time. When you look at the client as more than just a client, you look at them as a person, right? It will bless your business. So I just want to speak that into existence and put that out into the universe for you.
Thank you.
So we're getting close to the end. So I know each of you have something amazing coming up that you're offering to prospective clients, current clients. So, Frenda, I'm going to go with you first. Talk about what it is that you have coming up.
Okay, so I have what I call a college boot camp, and I'm starting a new group or cohort. Starting June 1st, 2021. It goes all the way to June of 2022. Working with, they'll be seniors, but rising seniors on everything college related. So you come in, we'll work with the college essay starting in June.
Awesome.
We start with scholarships in July. We work on the Common App. We do scholarships all throughout the 12 months. So it's like a 12-month case, management. I do academic type stuff with them, making sure that they're on track to graduate. So I'm a second eye to that. So basically, I just take them through the entire senior year doing college planning. And so it's like I said, it's called College Boot Camp. If you go to any of my pages, you'll see it up. I'm signing up students now, and we start in June.
And I put the link in the chat, and the link is on the screen right now for anyone who is watching. May you be watching this live or via replay. It's in the chat. It's on the screen right now. It's a boot camp that Frenda is offering. Please click the link, check it out. You've heard what she does. I have her on here for a reason. She's dope. I already know. First of all, anybody from Chicago, I got love for the shot, right? But I've been able to talk to her previously, so I know what it is that she's offering. And me being a basketball coach, I've coached the juniors and seniors in high school. I know what this process, how important this process is. I know how getting yourself ready for college financially as well as spiritually and mentally, I know how valuable that is. And when you can eliminate that one thing, I don't have to worry about how this is going to be paid for. It's so invaluable. So please, Buy Black for Life, please check on that. And you now, Brianna, please share what it is that you have coming up as well.
Yes, so I have a free workshop coming up next week. That link is so long. So literally just go to my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/SheEdits1. You'll see it posted all over there. I don't have it on my website. But like I said, if you go to my social media, whether that be Instagram or whether that be Facebook, you'll see it all on there. But it's a free workshop. It's an hour long. And it's called the 5-Pronged Approach to Graduating Debt Free. So, of course, scholarships and grants are my main focus, but there are 5 ways that you can utilize to graduate debt free. I'll give you kind of a sneak peek. So, including writing financial aid appeal letters, that's another way. Getting a job to pay for your tuition, because there's a lot of jobs out there that will fully pay for your tuition. And then there are a couple other ways too. So, like I said, it's absolutely free. I only have 100 spots. As of this morning, 83 were filled.
Wow.
So I may be offering another one on Wednesday. This next one is on this upcoming Thursday, but because so many people want to get in, I'm thinking about offering another one Wednesday. So if that fills up, then I will plan to open up another date. So like I said, just go to my social media and you can check that all the way out. But I'm super excited about it. It's going to be great, super informative. So make sure you register.
Great. And I see someone, Frenda, put in there, I'm gonna need to sponsor a student. So I love that. Let's do it.
Yes, let's do it.
That's great.
I love that. Listen, this again, I'll say it again. Our young people and financials is so important. Education is so important. I even if the thing that I've learned, and I graduated from college in the 80s. The 80s. Don't say anything, ladies. In the 80s, right? But yet, every day since then, after graduating, is when I've learned about what it is. And while college gave me that foundation, right? It gave me the foundation and the curiosity that the world opened up to me. And I say the world opened up to me. I was a kid from the hood. I never saw myself being able to see the world, and I've seen the world. So education gives you that foundation. It opens up that curiosity. So please, I parents, take this opportunity. Do not let this go by, please. And I just have one last question for each of you. It's the question I ask everyone who comes on my Education Saturday Conversations series. And I'm going to start with you, Brianna. What does buy black mean to you?
Ooh, what does buy black mean to me? I was not prepared for this question. Okay, but off the top of my head, when I think buy black, I just think about support your people, because we support everybody else. And people, I have been to like McDonald's so many times, they got my order wrong, they be rude to me, they all this stuff, but I keep going back and back and back. But then, the first time a black business messes up something, oh, they just ghetto now. I knew that's why I didn't want to support black business in the first place. So I think it's just supporting your people. Like, if you see somebody really trying to do something, break from the mold, not just work a 9 to 5, start their own business. Or if you see somebody who does work for a 9 to 5 business and you can support them somehow, then do it. Like, we have to build each other up. We have to, we have to be here for each other. So that's what it means to me.
Awesome. Frenda, how about you? What is
Buy Black for Life for me is a lifestyle. So, and I'm on my social media every Sunday. I am supporting black organizations, black businesses that I bought from, tagging them. It's just a lifestyle for me.
I love it.
I want to have use 75% of black products in my house. Yes. I'm up to maybe 30, close to 40. So for me, it's a lifestyle.
Yes.
I'm supporting black people and black, just like I think Issa Rae said, I room for everybody black. And that's just me.
Amen. I love it. And Brianna, just to let you know, and Frenda knows him, Sammy from Ash Academy. And let me tell you, this is why I love this group, right? Because we are able to make connections. Sammy has an academy in California with students. He runs an academy out there. So trust me, he will be reaching out to you as well. Because again, and he's a good, listen, he's more than a good dude. He's a brother to me, right? And we found each other by this. And this is what this is all about. Being able, and he's in 2 other time zones away, so 3, whatever it may be. But doing what it is that we're doing, we're able to bring the world and bring each other closer to each other. And I'm hoping that us all, with Sammy, that we are able to do something for our young people that nobody ever saw coming, because our young people are dope. I'm telling you, I see it. I see it every single day. I always say this. I wish everybody had the opportunity to see what I see behind the scenes. It would blow
Mhm.
your mind.
Yes.
Black
Mhm.
people are dope. So,
Mhm.
and both of you are the epitome of that. You are the epitome of what I call Black excellence. So I'm going to start with you, Frenda. Any last words that you would like to share with those who are watching?
I just, first of all, I want to thank you again, and I'll be back again.
Yes, you will. I'm going to come for you, sis. I'm going to come.
For this platform. I just love, again, collaborating with people that look like me. Like, we in this together, and we have to know that despite what the outside world, wants to project, we are in this together, and we need to really support each other and collaborate. So I absolutely love this platform. I put you on my website and everything. Black for life.
Love you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Brianna, any last words?
Well, again, thank you for having me on here today. It's been such an honor. I love being able to help and educate. If you would like to work with SheEdits, whether you be an individual, family, a school, a community organization, I love making partnerships because I just want to spread this thing so I can help as many people as possible.
Yes.
So please feel free to reach out, SheEditsLLC.com. Graduate debt free with SheEdits LLC. And thank you again. I appreciate it.
And that energy that she's bringing right now is in every one of her posts. Like this is the first time we're talking virtually face to face, but I have been seeing, I'm like, yo, I gotta find space. I don't know if you remember, I said that to you when you first joined my group.
That's
I have to
awesome.
find space for you. Like,
man,
seriously. And here we are. So that's the way the universe works and the way God works. And God is behind everything that
yes,
we do
absolutely.
here at Buy Black for Life and that each of you do. So I thank you for joining me. Again, if you are watching this on replay, do #replay. Tell us where you're from. Make sure you answer that icebreaker. Have some fun. And Buy Black for Life. These young queens have something that you need if you have a college-bound child, or even if you have a godchild, a niece, a nephew. There is somebody you know that can use what it is that these young queens offer. Please check them out. And for the love of our people, have a wonderful Saturday.
Yes.
I am going on vacation for a week. Me and my wife are going to lay on the beach. We're going to get blacker than blackety black, black. And I love you all. Please be safe. Have a wonderful Saturday and a wonderful next week. Thank you.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Black for Life.
Thank you.